Hi guys, welcome back to Forgetful Scholar, and this week I'm going to do a book tag. I know. It's not because of a reading slump. I'm actually in the middle of a book that I'm really enjoying. It's just I forgot that this weekend I am book solid. So I don't have enough time to finish. At least I don't think I have enough time to finish and film a video and edit it and all that stuff. So I'm doing a book tag right now. I actually created a book tag. So this was my idea. You answer questions on how many books you've read, not books you want to read or going to read, but how many you have read. And then question 17, you kind of put the answers in like a Mad Lib situation. So it creates a book that you're in, you know, that you're the main character in. What would a book of like you being the main character, what book would you be in? That's kind of my idea. I don't think I'm explaining it well. So let me just show by example, okay? And I named it, what is your book tag? Question 1, which is the genre of book you read the most? And this is romance. This far outspread anything else, only second to mystery. Question number 2, of that genre, what subgenre do you read the most? And I wasn't surprised by this because, again, Joanna Lindsay, Lisa Klépez, Julia Quinn, it's historical. Now, number 3 was a bit surprising. 3, of that genre and subgenre, what kind of couples do you read the most? LGBTQ plus, straight, or none? So, because I read a lot of queer romance and queer fiction, so I thought the numbers would be a little closer than what they were. But I think because of book series like The Dresden Files, which is huge, and things like that, unfortunately, my queer books that I love so much got kind of pushed to the wayside. So it is straight. Question 4, which second genre of book do you read the most? So that would be mystery, right? Because I read some suspense mystery, but mostly, well, question 5, of that genre, what subgenre do you read the most? So that's cozy. So you guys know I do read a lot of cozy romances, cozy mysteries. Question 6, what time period do you read the most? Past, present, or future? And I put future because, you know, there are a lot of individuals that love sci-fi fiction. I'm just trying to get into it, but I don't have a lot in that genre yet. So for me, this would be past. I read books that take place in the past the most. Question 7, is there a date or year range that pops up the most? So this is kind of funny. So the 1800s pops up the most, mostly in my historical romances. Early 1800s, late 1800s. I find that interesting. There's something about that period where historical romance writers just love, I guess. I mean, I guess I love it too because I love these books. So isn't that kind of funny? Question 8, where do most of your books take place? Town, country, or planet? And yes, I put planet because, again, sci-fi books, right? And you could put like, for the fantasy readers, you could totally put, you know, the fantasy worlds or towns or whatever that you read the most. Because this is just sort of kind of making like your own story. So England, again, Joanna Lindsay, Lisa Klépez, and Julia Quinn are the culprits. I was pretty convinced that it would be Chicago just because of the Dresden Files, but nope, the historical romance girlies, they came in clutch. Okay, question 9, what is the occupation you read the most? So this means like in the books I read, what is the job of the main character that mostly pops up? And this is private investigator. Again, you know, the Dresden Files, but also the Noodle Shop and other different cozies that I read. Because Dresden is like a wizard investigator. So at first, like, wizard investigator was leading the pack, but other cozies that I read where they're normal people investigating or become investigators, like the Wyborn Griffin series, Griffin's a private investigator, things like that kind of pushed it a little, put the wizard part away. So private investigator. Question 10, what is the second occupation you read the most? So I know I said the other cozies pushed out the wizard part, but I don't think wizard's an occupation. So the second occupation I read the most would be Lord of the Realm. You know, the historical romance girlies where it's an earl or a lord or a knight or a duke. Like that just outstripped it. And in the beginning, when I was putting all these analytics together, I guess, I was like, does that count as a job, I guess? Because they like land management, staff management. So Lord of the Realm. It sounds so silly. Anyway, question 11. What archetype do you read, love the most? So I put read/love the most because there's certain archetypes that I absolutely love, and I haven't, and unfortunately, like, I don't think they're the majority in my books that I read, but I love them so much. I was like, you know what? I'm making this book tag. I could put read/love. So you could, in this question, for the answer, you could put what literally is on your shelf the most, the archetype that's on your shelf the most, or the one you love the most. Okay, so the one I love the most is unfortunately not on my shelf the most, is the lovable rogue with the heart of gold, you know, the adorable scoundrel type. Question 12, what is the second archetype you read/love the most? And again, you know, read, it's on your shelf or you love it the most, but this one actually is on my shelf the most. So I put it in this one. The brooding hero, you know, like the Lord of the Realm that has like a dark past because, you know, his high school, his childhood love died tragically. Mwah. You know, I don't know what voice that was. Would I be like crucified if I say that's like my Batman voice? Probably, right? So let's not say that. Don't come for me. So because it just is like, it's sometimes, especially in historical romances, the male characters are broody for like no reason. But there they are. That is the most on my shelf, the brooding hero. Question 13, what is the average page count of your book? So this was interesting because I do read novellas, things like that. So this actually kind of came out to around 350. And no, you don't have to get like page count specific, you know, this could be like, oh, you know, I read a lot of 500 page books, I'm going to put that, or oh, you know, I enjoy novellas, so I'm going to put 80 pages. You know, it could be like that. It doesn't have to, like, you don't have to scour your bookshelf to get the exact count unless you want to, right? This is supposed to be fun. I don't mean to stress anybody out. Okay. If you hear that annoying beeping sound, my bad. But that's my neighbors and I can't do anything about it. So, question 14, what trope do you read the most? Read/love the most. Again, I didn't put /love, but you know, it could be the trope you love the most. I'll probably fix that when I put it down below. But I put enemies to lovers. I love that trope when that trope is done well. It is like my favorite, but it's gotta be done well because I think every trope, if it's like a fine line, right? Because every trope could be like, oh, chef's kiss, mwah, or it could be disaster, right? So that one would be enemies to lovers. And question 15, what is the second trope you read the most? Read/love the most. So grumpy sunshine. I love a good grumpy sunshine, especially if it's like reverse, because usually in straight romance is grumpy sunshine, the guy's the grump and the girl is sunshine. I love it when it's reversed and the girl is the grump and the guy is the sunshine. But grumpy sunshine is really, I love that one too. I love that one. Okay, question 16. What is the ending you read the most? Happily ever after, open-ended, or tragic/sad ending? So for me, happily ever after, HEA is what I read the most because I read romance, and if it doesn't have a happily ever after, it is not a romance. Okay, I'm sorry. No. Romeo and Juliet is not a romance. It's a tragedy. Do you understand? This is like basic high school knowledge, teaching. This is what okay. So the last question, and this is where it might get a little complicated. Put the answers together and get your book. Put the answers to put the answers down where the corresponding numbers are. So I scribbled all over this one, so it probably doesn't, it probably won't be easy to read, but it's like a little paragraph and then dashes and then the number, you know, the number where you put in your answers and then you read the paragraph. Does that make sense? Probably not. Probably not. But let me give you an example. So this is question 17 for me that I filled out and put my answers in where the numbers correspond. And the numbers don't go in order, right? So like the answer to question 1 is put in the third blank space here. But again, I put the numbers to where you would put them. I feel like the more I explain this, the crazier it sounds. Okay, so let me read it blank without the answers and then I'll read it again with the answers. I think that might help because that would help me if I was watching this chaotic nonsense of a video. So I'm gonna do that. My book is blank number 3, blank number 2, blank number 1 with a touch of blank number 5, blank 4 to it. It takes place in the blank number 6, blank number 7, in blank 8, the main character who you are in the book, because you're the main character of this book. That's the point of this kind of thing. This is if you were in a book kind of a deal. So the main character who you are in the book, in the story, is blank 9, blank 11. The love interest / secondary character in the story is a blank 10, blank 12. The story is a blank 14 with the elements of blank 15 sprinkled in. It is a blank 13, blank 16, and I love it. Did that help or did it make it more confusing? I feel like I'm confused and I created the dang thing. Okay, so let me read it now with my answers. So you have example without the answers and now you're gonna have example with the answers. My book is a straight historical romance with a touch of cozy mystery to it. It takes place in the past, 1800s in England. The main character who you are in the book, in the story, is a private investigator, lovable rogue with a heart of gold. The love interest / secondary character in the story is a Lord of the Realm brooding hero. The story is, hold on, I can't even read my home writing. Okay, the story is enemies to lovers with the elements of grumpy sunshine sprinkled in. It is a 350 page happily ever after and I love it. Does that make sense? Oh, I hope so. So that is the little book tag that I created. I hope you guys have fun with it. Tag me in it if you do it because I would love to hear like the little paragraphs of the story that you're the main character in. I would find that fascinating. Okay, I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.